So in this video we will study two very important math equations for equilibrium problems. One is called quadratic equation. So what is the quadratic equation? Quadratic equation, when solving equations of the type like this one, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, this equation is called the quadratic equation. And how we solve x from this equation, basically this formula we have to use: x equal to plus b minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac over 2a. So this is very important, and you need to memorize that what is the quadratic equation and how to solve or how to get the equation answer from this equation. So let's take one example to understand how to solve the question. So for an example, this question is here that at 500 Kelvin the reaction PCl5 gas is decomposing into PCl3 and Cl2 gas, has a Kp 0.4 0.497. A gas cylinder has 500 Kelvin, is charged with PCl5 at an initial pressure of 1.66 atmosphere. What are the equilibrium pressure for PCl5, PCl3 and Cl2 at this temperature? So let's start to solve this equation using we will start first from the ice table. So remember that ice table from my previous video, that first we have to write down what is the initial concentration. So initial concentration is given for this starting material PCl5 is 1.66 atmosphere, and there is no information about the product. So product concentration will be 0, and then since molarity, since this is a balanced reaction, 1 phosphorus 5 chlorine this side, 2 and 3 5 chlorine. So this is the balance reaction, and the molar ratio is like a here 1 mole and 1 mole. So each is 1 mole. It means if I am change will happen, suppose x mole has been consumed for PCl5, so x mole of PCl5 will be formed and x mole of chlorine will be formed. So we can subtract x mole from the initial concentration of reactant, and we can add those same concentration in the product side, and in equilibrium we can add these two together. So once we will write the equation Kp for this reaction, because they have already given in the question Kp is this one. So Kp is product over reactant. Products are PCl3 and Cl2 divided by PCl5. Now we can include these equilibrium concentrations into this equation, and once we will include this one, so we can write Kp equal to xx and 1.66 minus x. So we can do here that x square, this will become x square and 1.66 minus x, and Kp value is already given, so I will include the Kp value here. And then I will move this denominator parameters to the left side, and then what will happen, basically 0.497 1 in parenthesis 1.66 minus x equal to x square. So once we will open this one, so basically we have to multiply 0.497 multiplied by 1.66 and minus 0.497 multiplied by x, which will be x. So after that what we can do, this is the multiplied product for 0.825, and then this is x and this is x square. Now after rearranging this equation, because you can see it's not easy to solve this equation, so this we have to work with as a quadratic equation. So now you can see this equation become like a quadratic equation where ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is quadratic equation, and if we will rearrange this equation into the quadratic equation format, this will become a will be nothing here 1, but x square, and then rather than plus it will be have minus, and then this will be look like a c, and then plus 0.497x. so this will be like bx equal to 0. So we can rearrange this exactly like 1x square excuse me, plus 0.497x minus 0.825 equal to 0. Now you can compare this equation exactly like a like my quadratic equation ax square plus bx and plus c equal to 0. So we can solve this x equation as per my previous equation. If you remember this, we have to use this one right now. X equal to b minus plus minus bx square minus 4ac over 2a. So now we are converting this into x, and b will be 0.x will be equal to minus b. So this is b plus minus under root b square minus 4a, this is a is nothing, is 1, and c is this value minus, so we have to include with the sign, divided by 2a. So once again a is this one. And now what we have to do, we have to solve this quadratic equation. First I multiply the 4 and with this number 0.825. Once we'll open the parenthesis, this negative sign will become plus, and once we will take under root rather than under root, we have to take square first, 0.497 square. The answer will come like this one, 0.247, and then outside will remain same. Then we can add these two values, we will come up 3.55, and after taking under root we will get 1.88. So now you can see x will come either two values, so minus 0.497 plus minus x 1.88 divided by 2. So here from here we will get the x two values. So one, if we will use plus sign, basically we have to subtract, and then we'll get a 0, x will be get a 0.692, and if we will subtract, basically we will get the negative value, negative 1.19. so this is not possible. Actually in a quadratic equation we always get two values, and we have to decide which value is reliable and which value is acceptable. So in this case the only x value amount is this much is acceptable, because you can see in our previous example, in the previous question, in the question we have initial concentration was 1.66. so this is maximum reactant, and product will be less than this amount. That is why it cannot be go in the negative, right? It will be some positive value, and which will be less than 1.66 atmosphere. So that is why this value is acceptable. And then what we can use from the equilibrium line, we know that PCl5 was concentration was, so from equilibrium line means this much, this one, if you remember this one in from previous So PCl5 will be 1.66 minus x, which will be an x value, we are using only positive one, and then we'll get the x value 0.692. Subtract from initial concentration, we'll get the concentration of PCl5, which is 0.968 atmosphere, and PCl3 and PCl2 is pressure, these are all pressure or concentration of gases, will be equal to x. So x will be equal to this much. So this was the example of the quadratic equation and how to solve this one. So it would be very informative to try to solve some more questions related to quadratic equation, and you must remember how to solve this equation.